Man, that one bothered me. That one bothered. Whatever. On to the next one. Well, actually, let's talk about this one. Let's ruminate on it. Stew over it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Losers Lounge.
Wow.
Presented by Bet365. How do we do on our best tonight, Dev?
I think we hit the lock holder.
Hey, if we hit the lock, though, that's not bad. I always double the lock bet, so
We need to be better.
we do need to be better. It
We'll
would be better? All right.
I'm going to go to the free throw.
Dev, you've had such a good season. I'm willing to let this one slide.
Thank you.
Not me. I hold him to a high standard. He had the season I expected from him.
Yeah.
You just didn't expect it. We're in the Toyota Losers Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Hop in the Toyota chat. Let's see what the AI says about this one tonight, boys. Fans are angry about missed free throws and lack of intensity. A lot of stuff to get to. Harrison wins in the building.
You know, this game, a lot of parallels to the Broncos loss, to where I would have been way less upset if the Nuggets just got blown out in this game.
Yeah.
But they fought like
did.
they have a lot in this stretch without Nikola Jokic, and it turned to a hell of a game.
It really was a heck of a game, man, and I actually had the belief. That's the thing.
Same.
Is
I did too.
I didn't expect them to win this game at any point until the end.
Yeah.
Then I expected them to win it, but alas. Superstar Dev's here.
What a fascinating game. A lot to take from that game, but not a fun ending. Not a fun ending.
I actually think this game was revealing, or I shouldn't say revealing as in revealed the truth, but gave us some evidence for some things that I think are very important, because the Detroit Pistons play a very physical brand of basketball, and how you handle that, I think, is it paints a picture for things
Absolutely.
to come. Let's do a fast breakdown, though, real quick. At one point, I thought I was going to have 3 notes. Here's my first note in
That's
first
how
quarter.
it seemed to be going.
Sloppy start for Denver.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray flat. It's note number 1.
Hey,
Note number 2. Pistons are a machine. They're a
looked
machine, man.
so good in that first half.
And then it's
And
31
really the first quarter.
31-18 Pistons. And then this is the note I thought would be my last one. The blowout is on. Because they were up 18 points, I think, to start the second quarter. They just extended it. And the Nuggets had no life, and you thought, okay, this is over. But Nuggets rallied behind Bruce Brown. The one guy who I thought was like comfortable in the physicality of tonight's game, man. He had maybe his best game of the season. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a 3. Big Val had a 3. Bruce was balling the whole period. It's 52-46 Pistons going into the half. Very manageable. Pistons opened up a 12-point lead immediately. They went on an immediate run, but Asar Thompson picked up 4 fouls. They were really getting into Denver's ball handlers, but Denver was able to draw some fouls on him. And when he was out of the game, their defense was completely different. They had a target, and that target was Duncan Robinson. They were able to go at him. Nuggets cut it to 5, but then Detroit had immediate back-to-back 3-pointers, including a 4-point play for Cade Cunningham. So Denver got it down to 5, and they go on a 7-0 run in 2 possessions. Then Ivy had a 3 at the buzzer that was an absolute killer.
That was a backbreaker, man.
Because Denver had it to 7 points. You're like, okay, that's manageable. 7 points. Cade Cunningham gets bottled up. There's only enough time to make one pass, and Jamal Murray, who was guarding Ivy on the far side, that was the only pass Cade Cunningham could make. I was calling it out on the watch along that was exactly where it was going to go, and Jamal was on his heels. It's like he didn't realize or something. I don't know. Allowed him to get open. He hits the 3, and it was 82-72 onto the fourth quarter. Tobias Harris was working the mid-range. He was kind of the unsung hero of the Pistons tonight. He had a lot of big-time buckets, especially in that fourth. But the Nuggets grinded back. Got within 5 with 5 minutes left to go. Murray had an and 1, cut it to 4. Murray had a mid-range, cut it to 2. He got on fire. He was very clutch in this game all the way until he wasn't. But he had a horrible game. Fourth quarter, he started scoring. Cade got to his spot. This is like a 90 seconds left. He got to his spot, goes up 4. Just a great play, great player. Then Denver gets a miss, and they got a fast break to push themselves up to 6. And this is where it felt like it was over. What does Denver have left with maybe 90 seconds left? a Jamal Murray tough one-legged fall away from about 15 feet and it was nothing but net.
It was a pirouette.
It looked like he was not going to miss a shot the rest of the night if they could just get enough shots for him. So you're down to 4 points. P-Watt one-on-one against Cade Cunningham, a tough cover. Elite defense on him. Just elite defense when you needed him to. Forced a tough shot. Tim Hardaway Jr. They come down. Jamal Murray gets to the paint, kicks it over to Tim Hardaway Jr. for 3. He hits it. 1 point game. And Detroit had to use their final timeout with about 40 seconds left. And inbounding the ball on the sideline, somehow Duncan Robinson inbounds it, gets the ball right back, and goes uncontested for a wide open dunk. So many plays are what ruined it for the Nuggets tonight. That is as big as any of them. They were not scoring. You had them on their heels. They had just blown
Duncan
a huge
Robinson
lead.
was not scoring.
Duncan Robinson's only field goal.
0 of 8 up until that point.
And you give up a wide open dunk for the least athletic guy on the court. Absolute killer. So now you're down 3. Murray gets a drop off to Val. Remember, he goes to the paint, drops it off.
Beautiful
Val gets
play.
it. 40 seconds left, down 1. Tobias Harris, who was on fire all night, hit a tough fall away. And so on your last, what felt like was going to be your last possession, Jamal Murray goes up for 3, but is fouled. If you recall, he dribbled. They had like 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
Couldn't get an opening.
Nope.
They could not get an opening. And finally he goes up,
They
elevates.
probably should have called a timeout. They had absolutely
They had a timeout.
nothing.
They had a timeout. Nothing was going. Gets down to 3 seconds. Murray shoots it and is fouled.
And it wasn't much of a foul.
89% three-point shooter, and he
Free throw
missed
shooter.
the very first one.
That was rough.
Denver still had a timeout, though, so he makes the other 2. You're down 1. Inbound the ball. You actually had to foul twice because Denver hadn't fouled in the final 2 minutes. So they have to foul twice. They get both fouls in with 2 seconds remaining. Tobias Harris hits both. So now you have just enough time to run one last play and get a prayer up, and Jamal Murray draws the foul.
Again.
Another
I
foul
was so-
right in front of the
I was
Pistons
happy
bench.
at that moment.
Bro,
I
if
remember.
I'm a Pistons fan, I'm really nervous about a close game in the playoffs.
So Jamal Murray, 89% free throw shooter, had missed 3, including one just seconds before. He gets a chance to redeem himself, and he missed the first one again. We didn't even get to.
No, I
swim.
think it was the second.
That was the second one.
Yeah.
We
He
didn't
gave
even
us a little hope.
a little hope, and then he missed it again. This time, only 0.7 seconds left. Denver tried to intentionally miss the last one. It gets batted out, and that was your ball game. Unbelievable. Murray was so clutch until he was the least clutch person on earth. Let's go to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. Dev, get us going.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway in this one was, what a brutal loss. Just because it was frustrating because you had an opportunity. You were right there. This was not a good start for the Nuggets team. They have not even physically ran in the last couple of days due to just not being able to get to their destination. They start out very sluggish, but they fight to get back into this game. And you go and you take the number 1 team out west, down 4 starters to the brink, to the last shot, and for you to lose in that fashion, it's just frustrating. This is not a doomer type of game for this one. I feel like players stepped up in it. A couple of players just did not finish, so the execution was not there. But you got to be proud of the way that they played. You want a different result.
You definitely want a different result. Am I proud of how they played tonight? Some guys. I think some guys for sure, but I don't know that the entire team did. I do think some guys brought it to be able to keep this game close. And to your point, the Pistons are good. For Denver to do this shorthanded is impressive itself, but could have been a win if everybody was on that boat. What do you got for us, Wind?
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is that we just watched maybe Bruce Brown's best game of the season.
Agreed, man.
And
Shout
just
him out.
an absolute vintage Bruce Brown game in every facet. I mean, Bruce Brown tonight, this is the guy who helped the Nuggets win the championship in 2023.
This is the version, yep.
This is exactly what he looked like. I mean, he was scoring, getting into the paint, a couple really impressive finishes through contact, 7 of 10 shooting overall, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Just an awesome Bruce Brown game, and he really needed it, man. I mean, he's a guy who's been struggling offensively. His 3-point shot, he didn't hit a 3 today. That's been dead. You know, just his overall offensive game, he's just looked a little spooked. So he really needed a game like this. And I think it's a little noteworthy that it came against a team like the Detroit Pistons, who are really physical, a great defense. The Detroit Pistons kind of reminded me of the Thunder tonight with how they play defense. Super physical. You don't really know if the ref's going to call the foul. They're just going to kind of foul you until they start calling it, which they did in the second half. But Bruce rose to the occasion.
Absolutely
in a game that had playoff level physicality against a very good defense.
Did not close tonight.
He did not close, and we were talking about on the watch along. It was probably the right decision. Just going through it. If you had a lot of timeouts, you could go offense, defense with him and Tim Hardaway. But with how the situation worked out, I think it was probably the right call what they went with.
And Tim Hardaway did hit a big three. If you put him in that spot,
Yeah.
Above the break three, is he going to hit it? I don't know. But you are right. But he played great. He was the one guy that I think just was very comfortable.
He was awesome.
Very comfortable in the physicality. And it's great to see him play it. I think it's a great
He
one.
hasn't had a game like this in a while.
And the stat line, we'll get to it, I guess, when we get to Bruce Brown, but the stat line's pretty good. He did a little bit of everything. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is adjacent to yours, which is the Detroit Pistons, to me, are very impressive. Not in that I think they're super talented or going to have great playoff success, although they could. The East is pretty weak, and it's not like I think anybody's that much better than them. I don't know that they're a super, well-rounded team, and they sure as hell cannot shoot the ball. 6 of 26 from the three-point line tonight. That's 23%. And they made 2 or 3 in a row at the very end, but they have weaknesses to them. What they do is they defend with physicality as well as the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those two teams are 1-2 in defensive rating in the NBA, and you see why when you watch them play. Yep. They are so physical.
Yep.
Physicality, everybody brings physicality in the playoffs, a little bit of strength, length. So to me, this is a bit of a preview of, all right, you can win pretty in the NBA in the regular season. You can win fast breaky. You could win three-point shooting. You can win finesse. But what happens when everybody gets the level of physicality that Detroit thrives in, Oklahoma City thrives in? Tonight, Jamal Murray seemed like he didn't want it. It was tonight I'm coming back. Was in a hotel for 3 days, and I got to go fight that. Asar Thompson into me full court the whole time. Peyton Watson, who's been playing great. I thought he battled and tried tonight. I don't think he ran from it tonight, but he was 5 of 17, very inefficient, and he
6
looked
to 20.
How do I always never have this?
I don't know, man.
You're right. 6 of 20. 6 of 20. He just a really rough night. And again, to get 20 shots up, I'm actually impressed with that because it tells me he kept going. But at the same time, I don't feel like he had an off night. I felt like he had the physicality was there tonight, and he has some work to do on that. Some more reps to get. This was a bit revealing to me, because it makes you wonder. Those two guys were penciling in for the offense we see at their best. But sometimes, as we saw with Michael Porter last year, when a team gets physical, are you able to be the same player through that physicality? It's just one game, but I thought Jamal tonight, maybe heavy legs or whatever, although he had 3 days off, and Peyton Watson both, the physicality really bothered him a way that I like. Take that note down. Let's see what happens when they play Oklahoma City, Detroit again, because now it's a question in my mind of what's going to happen when the physicality ramps up.
Yeah, they took away their will very early, and also they made you think the entire time. Their defense is so stifling in the fact that they could hide a lot of their deficiencies. They did not shoot the ball well, at all, especially from deep, and they don't even have the bodies for it. But they do have the bodies to wear you down. They do have the bodies to play you tight and make you work for everything you have. And some people are going to show up in those situations. Some are not, but they're going to keep you thinking. And I felt like they kept Jamal on his toes. They wanted to see what P. Watt had in the physicality department, and just continue to go at you. They have a physical front, like the starters, and then the second group is especially trying to wear you down. So that is the impressive part about them is they know who they are and they stick to it.
Yeah. And Jamal had some stuff going in that fourth quarter. I mean, he had honestly a great fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I thought he was a horrible quarters 1, 2, and 3. Horrible. And then, of course, he missed the free throws. But he did have a big-time effort in the fourth. And it almost, you watch him tonight, they had 3 days off, but he does have a lot of injuries, and he's put a lot of mileage on him in the last month as he's been carrying the team without Yoke. But we worry about it wearing down. The All-Star break's coming. I think he's going to be part of All-Star weekend. Today, he played a game like a guy that knew he only had 1 quarter's worth of winner in him.
It was kind of a throwback to last year and the year before in a lot of ways.
Yeah, where we'd think he was always tired. All throughout the year.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he has the explosion in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
His fourth quarter was vintage Murray. His first three quarters were really bad tonight.
What did he have in the fourth quarter? Because he had 24 points on the night.
I think he had like 12 or 13.
12 or 13,
Yeah.
so half of his points basically.
Yeah, and I mean, some of those shots he hit in the fourth, I mean, there's only a couple guys on the face of the earth who can do what Jamal Murray did on those possessions. And, even Peyton Watson, he did struggle with his shot tonight. And a lot of his shots, too, came like late shot clock. I think he wound up with a couple grenades, some really just tough situations. He did have a couple big plays down the stretch, though. I think he had a block and a rebound, too, that were pretty clutch.
His defense on Cade, we'll talk about that later.
I think this does set up as a great preview of Sunday. There are a couple games in between, but Sunday you have the Thunder, who are, the Pistons on defense, even taken up another level when they're really on their A game.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that we saw how this version of the Nuggets looked against this Pistons team here, and now we get to see it on Sunday against Oklahoma City.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. There's a lot to break down, though, in this game. A very, very interesting game. And the Nuggets, again, so close to the one-seeded Pistons. We'll break it all down on the other side.
Shout out to Bet365. If you're a new customer, you can hit that code right there on the screen. You can see it right there. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. Bet365, an official partner of the Denver Nuggets. It's the app we use to bet on the pregame show. It's where Dev helps us win money. And they have a really cool thing going on Tuesdays. Tip-off Tuesdays. Place a qualifying same-game parlay bet with a safety net bet feature on Tuesday NBA games. Get $10 in bonus bets, even if your bet loses. Terms and conditions apply. Download the app. Use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, use the code DNVR365. Deposit $10. Place that bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player prop, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help. Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Also got to talk about our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing, and these guys are the absolute homies. If you have any roofing needs, if you think you might have it, if you just want to talk about your roof or talk about the Nuggets, hit up Red Hawk Roofing. They're Denver's best roofers. They're our go-to guys, and they're part of the DNVR fam. They're in the bar all the time. They're on takeovers. They're in the suite with us. They're Denver sports people and Denver people through and through. So if you have any roofing needs, home, business, whatever it might be, give Red Hawk Roofing a call, 720-771-8921, redhawkroofing.com. Of course, tell them we sent you, and then ask them who their favorite guy is on the Nuggets show. Then let us know.
I like that one. Yeah, didn't let us know.
Well, maybe, depending on who it is. redhawkroofing.com, 720-771-8921.
Absolute homies. All right, back here, segment 2. Here's where I want to start. Rather than go to players, I actually want to start in a different direction. The Pistons have some really good defenders. Even Cade, man, I was so impressed with his defense tonight. He took on the challenge of making P. Watt's life hell. And as great as he was on offense, he still used all of his energy on defense as well, going at him, and it was impressive. But he has size and strength. Asar Thompson, size and strength. They have like some length to all of their players, but they get in you and get physical. And Denver has fewer of those guys, but they have Christian, Peyton, Spencer, and Aaron Gordon. That's enough to me to say, like, man, why can't Denver be this physical? There's probably a reason for it I'm not thinking of. But when I watch it, you just wonder, can Denver be as good as the great teams defensively? And what I saw of them tonight was a lot about just physicality that worked and being willing to live with some fouls. Denver was in the bonus a little bit. They said, who cares? They're not going to be in rhythm. They're fine with that, and they just go all out. We know the playoffs are different. Denver will go all out. But can they be as good defensively as Detroit is, even if it's just for like key games in the playoffs?
I think that they have the bodies for it. And once they get more in return, like more of their guys coming back, I think that the effort has to be there. Because I think that's the biggest difference is, am I going to be able to lock in for that long? Am I going to be able to focus in on this type of play? And right now they can't, because they're having to play offense and defense. And a lot of guys that are not playing 30-plus minutes a night are playing 30-plus minutes a night out of necessity. But if you look at the stretch, I am curious to see if guys are saying, hey, I have a longer leash. I could play a little bit, longer if I play harder defense. I'm going to stay on the court if I'm playing harder defense. And that is going to be the difference on if they win a championship or not, is if they could get those stops, if they could give that effort for a long duration. We have not seen that, thus far, but I think that they look at that in the second half and say, yeah, that's what's going to separate us. So I think they have the bodies for it.
They're shorthanded right now in a way that they can't go as hard as a team that has all of their depth and everything else. Because the guys we're talking about, Peyton Watson, he also has to be an offensive player too, in a way that some of these guys aren't asked to be. But I mean more stylistically, Wind. And there's one guy that I actually think plays right now with close to the level of physicality you see of an Ausar Thompson. Who would you say? Who do you think I'm thinking of those four guys I just mentioned that actually plays with that level of
are out or
no that are really of anybody on the roster?
Spencer Jones.
Agreed.
Yeah,
we watch Spencer Jones and he fouls a lot, and we've talked about it. But the truth is, he gets into guys the way Ausar Thompson does.
We also might get into the playoffs and somehow all of a sudden he's not called for any fouls.
He's like, "This is how I've been playing all year."
This is why I've been fouling the whole year, guys. Look, I've said this before. I trust the Nuggets defense in the playoffs. I just do.
Yeah.
They're going to finish probably in the 20s defensively. I mean, they're 23rd defensively right now. It's them and the Lakers. They're the only two playoff teams right now in the 20s defensively. It's just not going to happen team-wide in the regular season. But I don't really care what they finish at in the defensive rankings. I trust them in the playoffs, in fourth quarters, in clutch moments. When it comes down to just the physicality in games like this, I think it just goes back to what a team's identity is. The Nuggets are an offensive team. They just are.
Yeah.
And that identity is very ingrained.
Yeah.
It's been ingrained for years and years and years. And even without Jokic, who was the first person to put that into stone, that's just kind of what this team is. They're just more of an offensive team. And the Pistons are a defensive team.
Yeah, for sure. No
I think they're
questions.
just outside the top 10 in offense. They're number 2 in defense. They're a defensive team. And I just think they have a whole mindset about defense. And they have a roster and just a play style that kind of reflects just their whole identity. So I just think it's something that's kind of ingrained in teams, and it takes years to ingrain it. And it probably takes a couple years to get to a different mindset.
But here's my point I'm kind of making. Spencer Jones seems to be on his way to being this type of player. A Lou Dort, a Ausar Thompson, a physical, hopefully he gets the calls and he improves at it. But I feel like the other Nuggets defenders, including Aaron Gordon to some extent, but especially Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, are containment guys. I'm going to try to keep you in front and I'm going to do this, that. And I look at CB and go, I don't know if he's good enough at that. I would love him to transform into what we saw from Ausar Thompson tonight, which is you might get blown by, but just get into him. Get physical. You might foul out. Denver's deep this year. We don't need – you go out, you only play 26 minutes in a playoffs. Who cares? Because you fouled out? Who cares? Get in and wear down Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, whoever it is you're going up against in a playoff series. When you watch it and you see a team that's their whole identity, everybody gets right up into you. They're not worried about getting blown by. They're trying to wear down your legs. I'm like, yeah, CB maybe needs to that's where the league's headed. That's where the great defensive teams do. And somehow the more you do it, the less you get called for it.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be less responsibility on Christian Brown to score.
Maybe.
Once he gets back. So maybe that's what he keys in on. And I feel like that would be a relief for him, that he's not having to be asked to score, that he's not asked to, they're not going to be questioning if he could shoot the 3 ball and whatnot. If he's keying in on that, because I already know he has to be working on strength and things right now. I just feel like he'll be able to add that. Then you put him and Peyton Watson going at the same time. You could maybe get clever and put Spencer Jones lineup around them, and I would like to see how that looks. Yeah. With all 3 of them going at the same time, Jokic and Jamal. That would be a defensive minded group that really could alter teams. So I really do want to see what that looks like with Christian Brown, at that strength.
Speaking of defense, the first guy I kind of want to go to right now is Peyton Watson, who had 13 points tonight, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, 3 blocks. It was a night of threes for him. And rough game. the physicality I thought definitely bothered him. He had that turnover where he kind of just dribbled it out of bounds. He was looking for a foul that was clearly not going to come. He was getting to weird spots on the court, not to his spots. And whatever, it's a physical team. When the full team's healthy, he's not going to be asked to do that role. So I'm actually not super concerned with it. He did hit some shots that were important down the stretch. But defensively, what I want to call out is at the end of the game, he was on an island with Cade Cunningham with the game on the line. You had to get a stop there. And he did a job that I don't know if anybody else on the team can do. And we tried the other day on the show, I thought we had a great show yesterday talking about who's the best defender on the team and ranking them and different things. P. Watt's up and down, unbalanced sometimes in his defense. But what he did to Cade Cunningham, I think he's the only guy on the team that can do that, which is completely stay in front of him, completely force him away from his spots, and then contest a really tough fall away that missed. And it was just, to me, such an impressive just one-on-one guard. Can you get a stop? And he got it.
Yeah, having him as a ISO defender, you do trust in that. Because if they do get by him, I feel like he's always making a play to go and get the block. He had 3 blocks in this game. So, he set the tone on that end of the floor. And he could step out on a Cade Cunningham, who's a nightmare matchup for most guys in the league because he's such a big guard. But he also gets to step down. He gets the turnarounds. He, gets to play at his own pace. And P. Watt has the length and the abilities to step out onto that. And also he's able to get through the screens and whatnot. So that was impressive to see him on an island, especially with the game on the line, to see how he, makes plays defensively.
What I love about P. Watt defensively this season, and you saw it today, was I feel like he really loves these one-on-one matchups. He was guarding Cunningham a lot throughout this game. Spencer Jones, I think, started the game on him, but by the end of the game, it was P. Watt. And I just feel like he relishes those big one-on-one matchups in games like this. So much so that I can't wait to see, them against the Nets, them against the Clippers, them against the Thunder, because there's a lot more of these coming up. And there's been a lot this season, but I just feel like he gets up for those moments. And he rose to the occasion at the end of the game tonight.
And it was mostly just at the end. I mean, this was a rough game for him, to be honest with you. And like I said, the physicality to me is what will stand out more. But I also want to highlight that there's a lot of times late in games where it feels like Denver's going to have to trap the ball or really load up and be vulnerable to kickouts. And tonight, and that huge possession, they didn't have to because P. Watt just took on that assignment, forced Cade into a really tough shot. He missed, and it was perfect. Let's go to Big Val. We got time for Big Val. Let's go to Big Val.
Yeah.
He started the game. I mean, his line is crazy tonight. 16 points, 16 rebounds in 31 minutes. Forget a minute restriction. We're going for 31 minutes tonight. He did a great job, especially early on. And it's crazy they survived the stretch they did without Big Val. Because tonight's one of those nights where if he was not playing, they would have lost by 40 points.
Yep.
Because they were so physical, and Big Val matched their physicality. He didn't beat them. It wasn't like he out-physicaled him, but he matched Jalen Duren, Beef Stew. He matched their physicality.
It made sense that this was a Bruce Brown, Big Val type of matchup because of how physical the other team is, that they welcome this type of matchup. Yep. He was incredible, especially early on. He set the tone. He was able to play through some contact. He grabbed every board that came his way. And there was a lot of them, especially how sloppy this game was early on. But he also has some very, tough finishes inside. And the Pistons, they might want to be careful about who they play in the playoffs. Because if Big Val is doing this to you,
fraud alert,
there's going to be a lot of bigs that are going to try to attack him. What would Jokic have put up? If he put up 16 and 16, that's brutal. That he was able to, to just manipulate the game in that way. But it really was. It was great to see him just being very active. He had a lot of defensive stops where he was, one-on-one with Jalen Duren. And these traditional bigs, that's where you could put a Big Val, where he can hold his own the entire time because you're not having to go out to the perimeter. If it's mano-a-mano in the block, I choose Big Val every time.
Which is we talk about matchups. Pistons are a potential finals matchup. I know it's kind of crazy. We're not even thinking about it.
Right.
In part because Yoke wasn't available, missing 4 starters, all this or that. But in that case that you play them, he's certainly playing because Beef Stew is a true big, and you need a big body, and he's up for that challenge.
I gotta give the Nuggets some credit though, because they obviously did something defensively to neutralize Durant a little bit.
Yeah.
Jalen Duren looked like Wilt Chamberlain in the first half.
In the first quarter, in particular, yeah.
He was an absolute beast. I mean, there was nothing the Nuggets could do. I mean, forget about it when Big Val was out and it was Zeke on him.
You know what I think it was, though?
What's that?
Gang rebounding, because how many rebounds tonight? I mean, Val had 16 of them, but how many rebounds tonight was it Murray tips the ball or somebody got a hand on the ball?
Murray had a big deflection late.
And there's like 5 or 6 of those where Julian had a big one. Like and David Adelman's been preaching this in the post game, just saying like, this is our, like, yes, we're shorthanded, but guys just need to crash and make a play. And a lot of guys did that tonight on the boards.
But what I was getting at is Jalen Duren had 14 points in the game tonight. I feel like all those came in the first half.
Might have, yeah.
He didn't do anything in the second half.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you just look at the stat lines, Big Val outplayed him, where like Duran looked unbeatable, you know, for the first parts of this game.
Yep, no doubt about it, man. Big Val, he makes such a big difference. And maybe we'll get to see it this week. We really haven't been able to see a good Big Val stint because he was out all this time and is just coming back, but makes such a huge difference that you just don't feel like Denver is undersized the way you did for a handful of those games towards the end. Let's take another break. On the other side, more guys. Spencer Jones, we got to spend more time on him and more time on Brucey B. Best game of the year for Brucey B.
Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and actually 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. is done on Shopify. Maybe you have, your own side business or your own actual business. Maybe you're trying to get to some other goal, create a new company or something, create a new product. You can run your business on Shopify. Shopify even powers the DNVR merch store. We got a lot of awesome shirts right now. Going to the merch store. Awesome stuff. Wish the Broncos won. There would have been some awesome stuff coming as well, but we'll have to wait on that maybe for next year. Shopify, they've got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more. If you are ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into cha-ching.
There it is.
There it is. With Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. Also, shout out to our friends over at Taco Bell. Of course, we broke the news on this very show that Nikola Jokic had tried the quesarito. You guys remember when we broke that news?
That's a big story, man.
Nobody reacted to that. Everybody reacted to the video of him, which I get.
I
get that.
I think that makes sense.
It was breaking news on this show that he had tried the quesarito, and I don't know, maybe it was poisonous. I don't know. But quesarito's awesome. Jokic is a believer, and Taco Bell has brought back its spicy volcano sauce to pair with the quesarito to take up the heat to the next level. Get over to Taco Bell, celebrate the Joker, pick up a volcano quesarito. Do we think is there another segment of the Taco Bell promotion with Jokic coming, or is this it?
No, it's coming. Super Bowl. We all decided it's the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
It's happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, man, I wonder if we could get a Bet365 prop bet on that.
Ooh.
They always have weird ones,
They do.
While you're at it, don't forget to grab something from Taco Bell's crispy chicken menu, whether it's a taco burrito or strips. Taco Bell's crispy chicken delivers every time. With the football playoffs taking full effect, be the hero of the party. Don't forget to pick up a crispy chicken game day pack featuring chicken strip soft tacos and Taco Bell's amazing nacho fries. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Maybe they're trying to tell us that right there.
Live Moss, man. Segment 3. Throw us a like if you guys are enjoying the show. And if you're not, how could you not be, man? We got a couple weeks before the All-Star break. Nuggets just need to white knuckle it till we get there, man. This was against the number 1 seed in the East, 2-point loss. Could have gotten it, which hurts, but just hold on. Keep fighting like this, Nuggets. Spencer Jones tonight, I actually was very impressed with him. His stat line's not going to ring out. 33 minutes, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block. So he did get 3 stocks tonight, but I was actually impressed with him. And the thing, Dev, is made his shots. I think, and this is a physical game, of all the guys, Bruce, Big Val, and Spencer Jones, not bothered by the physicality. In fact, they looked more comfortable.
He looked very comfortable in this game. Every single play that came to him, he shot it. He was shot ready the entire time, and he had some big shots to try to give the Nuggets momentum while making, good defensive plays, while being physical in this game as a young guy in this league that's trying to find his way. 4 or 5 from deep, and those are the only shots that he made in the game. Only shots that he took while trying to battle down there on the boards. This was sloppy, and I think that he was like, okay, I'm going to try to make my impact in this game. He also had 2 steals and a block. So there goes the defensive effort. You can see that he's putting it in every single time, and he's a guy that his play is contagious on that end of the floor. So I really want to see him with those other guys, because there were times that it looks like Peyton was only just playing defense, or, in Christian Brown's short stint, it was like, okay, well, how much can he do? No, I think you now have defensive running mates, and I will put Spencer Jones in the best of the defenders on the team. So this was another solid game from him defensively. I liked it.
Spencer Jones had a LinkedIn post a couple weeks ago, and he...
Did you just pull it up? He did. I love that you have
I'm
it ready.
dead serious about this. He had a quote in there that was very telling, and it's honestly something I've never thought about of a guy in his position. He said, quote, "The hardest part of this league isn't starting strong. It's maintaining consistency when excitement fades." And in this post, he talked about how, the novelty and the adrenaline of him being in the NBA, him making it, has worn off.
Right.
And now the toughest part is mentally and feeling tired in the wear and tear of the season and maintaining that consistency when the excitement fades. And I had never really thought about that, but this guy makes the league out of nowhere, undrafted. He's starting for one of the best teams in the West with the best player in the world. It's got to be a whirlwind, but I just thought that was really cool perspective from him, because it's something I never thought about, but I feel like you kind of see that mentality in his game,
Yeah.
It's a different thing every night. Some nights he needs to hit a couple threes. Some nights he needs to really lock in on defense. Well, he needs to do that every night. Some nights he's starting. He came off the bench in a game recently. I love Spencer Jones, and I just love how he's able to adapt to whatever role the Nuggets need him to play that night. He's always going to play hard. He's always going to give effort. He's always going to come with it defensively. And I especially love how quick of a trigger he has from 3 now.
Oh, it's going up. It's going up.
If you look at how quick his triggers for 3 now compared to the beginning of the season, it's night and day. He was hesitant at the beginning of the year. He gets them up whenever he can now, and I love it.
And Harrison, he only took 5 shots tonight, so it's not like he's looking for it, but he recognizes it when it's his turn.
Yep.
So when the ball gets to him and the window's tight, it's like, yep, but it's my turn. I got to go up with it, which is such a huge thing. And, when we talk about circle of trust and who's in, I feel like no matter how much you trust a guy, you still want to have seen it in the playoffs. So we don't talk about Spencer. But if I was predicting what a guy will do in the playoffs, I think I would actually predict Spencer Jones is just great in the playoffs.
I would too.
I don't think he's neurotic at all, so I don't think he's going to get in his head if he has an 0 for 5 night. And he is consistent. The quote you're talking about reminds me of that quote that says, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits." Yeah. Where it's early on in your career, you can rise to your aspirations, but that's going to fade. I do think that he's one of those guys. He just goes out there. I'm going to shoot it when I'm open. I'm going to defend. Might foul. I might not. I don't know. He's not in his head about anything, because he knows that his job isn't to win or lose. It's just to do the same thing every night. So I
feel like him being in this rotation and playing big minutes from the start of the season pretty much.
Yep.
I think he's going to be fine in the playoffs. He will have seen everything by then.
Not only that, I can't wait to see him go back to 18 minutes a game, because right now he's doing this in 33 minutes.
Yeah.
That's going to be like running with ankle weights off.
Yep.
No, to even think about it, he's going to go back to 18 minutes a game. He's going to be getting paid more.
That's true.
Whoa.
He's going to be locked in.
We think. You're right.
The idea, though,
no, you're right.
He's going to be very locked in, because
man.
now it's okay, I'm finally here. I have to star in this role. That's going to be cool.
I wonder, it's so funny to think, but
he's getting a massive pay bump.
Bro, we don't actually ever think about these things because they're just pro athletes,
Right.
and you assume they're living large. He's not living that large, but there will be a day, probably right after the All-Star break, when we expect him to be added to the rotation, where that check that comes in is going to be so much bigger, or it'll be a nice little check.
To have a less role, to just go all out in that small amount of time. Like, that's going to be a life-changing moment.
And hopefully some security, because you're hopeful that Denver can get him. I don't know what it's like, but you hope you can get him to like 3 years. You know, get him 2 years.
You want to sign like a bunch of years on a like minimum.
Yeah, like on a real low
like
deal.
Chanchar
Contract.
100%. It's still going to be so high.
Get it 2 years plus a player, a team option.
And it's also the type of thing where like you're thinking, oh, maybe his agent's going to play hardball or something. But it's the type of thing where like, okay, we gave him the opportunity, so help us out a little and sign this deal.
What about like they could throw in LinkedIn Premium? They're like, hey man, we'll take care of it.
You better be getting that now.
We're taking care of it.
LinkedIn's missing out.
Yeah.
So if my math is right, he'll make about an extra $500,000 being converted to a full-time contract for just the last half of the season.
Really?
After the All-Star break. Yeah.
And again, I don't think he's making so much money. Like, look,
he is making the most a two-way guy can make, because you do get paid more when you play in NBA games.
But it's still one of those things where nobody needs to cry tears for this guy. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where it's not like he's living large, man. He's not, the guys have the All-Star break coming up. He might be at my hotel. Like he might be with me at the resort.
He might be in like Vail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might be more of a driving trip.
Actually, might be like a Breck guy.
Airbnb, but he's splitting it with a friend he has who's doing pretty well.
And he's also like a guy who doesn't know how long he's going to be in the league.
He might not have LinkedIn Premium, to be honest with you. He might be eyeing it right
is
now.
Expensive.
He's like, our pro or whatever it's called.
I got a free trial.
Do we go back to Brucey B? I can't remember. We haven't gone back. Let's go back to Brucey B. I mean, best game of the year. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. I needed to see this, man.
Just
I
the
really
fact
did.
that it came against the Pistons in a physical playoff level defensive game. Like that honestly means a lot to me. Just that he rose to the occasion in this game. It would be a lot different if this was against,
totally
Pelicans or something.
Some Washington where you're like, whatever. But
this gave me a lot of confidence for Bruce.
It does. I still definitely kind of want to see more from him,
sure.
but it was this was a reminder game. It's weird. We always talk about reminder games for Yoke. This was a reminder game for Bruce, because that's the Bruce we need.
That's the Bruce that we need, but that's also the Bruce that you remember. In these big games, when it truly matters, like who steps up, like who are you going to war with? It's Bruce Brown. He didn't really have the size in this game, but he made sure to be impactful. He was productive the entire time. 7 rebounds as a guard in that type of environment. The Bruce was loose. He was out on fast breaks trying to get finishes. He had a couple of finishes through traffic. We've been seeing like regular misses. He was doing them through traffic with Jalen Durant down there.
Yeah.
Big man all around. A couple of just getting to where he wanted to get to, even and 1 finishes. So we didn't just want to see this. I know Bruce wanted to see this. I know teammates wanted to see this to remind them of like, yes, that's Bruce Brown right there. And I'm glad that it was at home, just to have them remember.
You're right. He felt feed off the crowd and stuff like that. And it makes you think I'm so curious what Bruce's role is going to be in the playoffs. I'm just so curious, because you could tell me he's out of the rotation in DMPs and multiple games in series. You could tell me he plays the role that he played tonight and pivotal. It's all on the table for him, and we might not get a sense of it. It might be one of those ones where Adelman just has to trust his gut, whatever direction it's telling him.
I think this version of Bruce just adds so much to this team, though. Just the 50-50 balls, the rebounding, which he does great for his size. Just the little plays here and there.
We were talking about guys tapping balls and this or that.
Yeah.
He was also a big
pause. But
tonight, Michael Porter tapped the ball. I don't know if you saw that. He kicked somebody right in the balls.
Yeah. But like, if you get this Bruce Brown in the playoffs, that is so huge. You just don't know necessarily, just because his year's been so up and down.
Yeah, but earlier we talked about, I think you guys said that you understood why he did not play, late in this game. I didn't understand it, because he was playing so well, and they needed that spark. And not only a spark, but he was scoring in the game. 7 of 10 from the field, 7 rebounds, and he also was at least matching effort defensively. So what is it that you're looking for?
Who would you have size? I think it's size, because I was going through, and this is why I said it. Jamal was not going to come out, and Big Val wasn't going to come out. Those 2 guys I think were locks. So then you're looking at I think Peyton Watson had a rough game, but you still needed him because he was your guy that had length. You couldn't have put Bruce on
to
Cade.
guard Cade.
You couldn't have put Bruce
Well,
on
it was
him.
also Tobias Harris.
And Tobias Harris,
he
you
kept
need
hitting
length.
that turnaround
Yep.
shot, and it didn't matter who was in front of him. I think Spencer Jones had some good contests,
Yep.
was too small.
Yep.
Peyton Watson, got put on a island a couple of times, just too small.
Yep.
So, yeah, it would have been tough for Bruce Brown because I feel like they would have hunted him out.
The
If you
only
could have gone
spot-
offense defense
Yeah.
with him and Hardaway.
It only would have been Tim Hardaway, and maybe you can make the case for that. But even Tim has a little bit more length, so maybe that was the thought process here. Well, Tim Hardaway, real quick, 14 points. Missed a couple that were like in the first half. We kind of thought the slump was back. He did hit some big ones down the stretch. He finished 4 of 9, which is really nice. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I still feel like this was more of a net neutral game for him than a positive in it by any means. He was a +3. I give him like a average grade. I don't give him a plus or a minus on this one.
For sure. He had a couple of opportunities for some backstabbing threes.
He did, man.
He just really could have had some backbreakers. And I feel like he's just missing that moment of, hey, that 3-pointer just changed the outlook of the game.
Yeah.
And it was just right there where he just continued to like fire off, and they gave him some very good looks. I do like the fact that if his shot's not falling or if he goes through a small spurt, that he keeps the defenses like guessing because he's like, I'm going to hit a mid-range or I'm going to try to get to the lane and try to dunk it. There was the moment in the game that I think it changed his mind. He went for the layup, perfect timing, like block, but knocked him over and he's like, no, I'm not going back in there anymore.
I think he had 9 of his 14 in the fourth, by the way. So, and he had the big 3 to cut it to 1, which was absolutely massive.
Huge shot. You really just want a couple more 3-pointers to fall in this one.
Man, I will say, all these sour Dallas fans, like, I don't know what he did in Dallas that made all Mavericks fans seem to hate Tim Hardaway Jr. for some reason.
He was there too long.
He was there what?
He was there too long, I think.
Yeah,
He was there
maybe.
like 4 years,
he was like Barton, where he came in
Yeah.
the arc cabin.
So-
but one thing I was going to say is they always say he's not going to make them when it matters. I feel like he's made a lot when they've mattered this year,
Yes,
You know what I
he
mean?
definitely has.
including that one in the clutch that was like, if he misses that, the game's over.
Yeah.
He drained it.
So I think it's hard to believe that anybody takes harder shots than Tim Hardaway Jr. in the league. I mean, his shot difficulty is so crazy. So I actually just looked it up. There's a stat for this on NBA.com. Expected field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So you sort
there
it
a
by
difference?
who has the lowest expected field goal percentage. Well, the difference, I mean, Jokic leads the league. In the difference.
Because nobody else makes 9 foot one-handed
Right.
shots like he does.
But if you sort it by lowest expected field goal percentage, Klay Thompson leads the NBA actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tim Hardaway is 11th.
that's pretty high, though.
Yeah.
You are right.
He takes the toughest shots, man.
He does take Klay Thompson-esque shots, though,
Yep.
because Klay, they are
Duncan Robinson is second.
as much as these are
Took
tough
some
shots.
tough shots tonight.
They might be a little less tough than you think because he kind of knows he's going to shoot as he's approaching them. So there's a little difference to that where it's like he's running in knowing it's going to be a contest.
Yep.
Still difficult. We're going to end, though, with Jamal Murray. Go back to him here. 24 points tonight, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, +8, game high +8 for the Nuggets. 39 minutes. And here's the thing. I didn't love this game from Jamal for 3 quarters. In fact, I hated it. It was one of my least favorite games. He's earned the right to have a bad game if he were to have one.
Yep.
But that fourth quarter is a reminder, even though he missed the free throws of all things, which I just never expect him to miss free throws. But even though he missed those, I will say the shots he made in the fourth remind you of why the Nuggets are championship contenders and right up there with the favorites. Because Jokic is as clutch as anyone and is going to get you shots. But Jamal Murray, it wasn't that he was taking these mid-rangers and rattled home. Like, oh, he got a lucky bounce on that one. They were pure. And it was like 6 in a row in the fourth where it was like, yep, another swish. Tough shot, another swish.
I'm excited to see Jamal in a couple of weeks or just whenever Jokic is back. For him to have to endure being the focal point of the offense and everything running through him, everybody's trying to get the ball out of his hands. A lot more physical than he's ever had to deal with. But he's getting so many touches right now, and they're banging with him, push him over. And I feel like it's going to make the game come easier. And he's like learning little things each game. And this one specifically, he did go off in the fourth quarter, which you tip your hat to, but it was a lot of like, hey, this was hard for the first 3 quarters. You know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to get Duncan Robinson on me. And we're going to hunt him every single play.
That was a big factor in his run for sure.
Every single play, we're going to just go after him. And I want it. I've always wanted more of Jamal hunting the mismatch and just trying to find where that is every single time, because other stars do that.
Yep.
When there's a stagger or there's a time for you to go off, you go off. And that's been a critique of Jamal, this entire time, is when there's a stagger, he doesn't have his moments of just like, I'm just going to just go destroy you. So this was a game that I felt like he did that with Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson looked like a deer in the headlights too.
He even he tried to run away from him at one point. And that's when Tim Hardaway Jr. hit that, open 3-pointer.
That was the only time they doubled, by the way. It was weird because I kept thinking with Duncan Robinson when they were going at him that they're just going to start double trapping Jamal, make somebody else make a shot, which, by the way, probably would have been smart to do. But they didn't. They kept just letting Duncan Robinson try to get a stop.
Yeah, and I mean, in the stats don't really tell the story. Like, this was an incredible game. Not incredible, sorry. This was a good game if you just went off of stats for Jamal. 24 points, 10 rebounds, or 10 assists, 5 rebounds. And he was a plus 8 in the game that they lost.
Yeah.
But we watched that game. Like, he did not have the legs early and made the game tougher. Like, to finish off the half, he had a step back 3 when he already could not hit any threes.
Yeah.
He did not make a 3 in the game, and then he missed some free throws, and that's not what he does. So I just feel like there was things to learn from that game.
I also just wonder if Jamal, we were talking about Spencer playing with like taking the ankle weights off, I think Jamal's going to have an ankle weights off run after the All-Star break. It might not come right when Jokic gets back, because Jokic's going to have to ramp up and there's all this stuff. But when the team fully is back, knock on wood, after the All-Star break, I wonder if Jamal's just going to be like, damn, I was being hounded with nobody to pass to, no outlet. And now all of a sudden, Jokic has all the attention. And I'm the secondary guy. And again, for him to be able to come out in the fourth, I didn't love the first 3 quarters, but for him to play the way he did in the fourth quarter, and by the way, he had some defensive plays in the fourth quarter as well. Yep. So he's getting it done on both ends. It sucks that he missed the free throw, since that's actually what lost the game. 2 times.
He had 2 chances on it.
And he missed free throws earlier in the game, which is like he was at 89% coming in.
15 from the free throw line.
One of those was a forced, so he really missed 4.
Does he need to run up some more hills in snow?
But 4 missed free throws.
Does he need to do some more wall sits with hot tea on his knees?
Oh, we have Vogt? Oh, nice. Let's go to the arena.
Call in line.
All right, we go whenever it comes back. All right, we go live to the Xfinity mobile call-in line where Brendan Vogt is calling us. Vogt, what a nail biter.
Yeah, what a nail biter. I can't believe it was a nail biter. I can't believe the Nuggets were in that game. It just seemed like they had no chance of winning until it seemed like maybe they might win it, until it seemed like this exactly what the script would be if they might win it, until their best free throw shooter missed 2 free throws down the stretch. So no real mystery at the end of this one as to what went wrong. And Jamal Murray took a no-excuse approach at the podium. I mean, he wasn't bitter. He wasn't furious. He just owned it. He said, I didn't play well today. The stats might say I did by the end of it, but I didn't. And it's not just the missed free throws. I need to be better throughout the entire game. As a team right now, we have all the excuses in the world, but I've got to be better, he said. And he would say multiple times throughout his press conference, this one came down to free throws, and obviously he's owning it there. Asked him about having Jonas Valanciunas back on the floor. He says, well, teams have to game plan for us now. We have a big. They have to play bigs. They can't just switch everything. They can't just double him. And he said on the rebounding, it's huge. He said he feels like Jonas and Zeke are the only ones trying to rebound right now. And he stopped himself and said, Spencer too. But it was nice to have Jonas back. On the last looks of the game, if he was trying to draw a foul, Jamal stayed true to brand. He said, I don't really try to foul bait, honestly. I was trying to get a clean look. I thought the first one was definitely a foul. Second one, bit of a push, he said. He was honest, though. He said, look, if I could have just made a free throw or hit the rim in the first half, that would have been lovely. That would have helped. It just wasn't a good night for me. About stepping up in the clutch, what clicked for him? He said, well, I have to do something. So I did something. And on seeing Mike again in Ball Arena soon, he said, yeah, we'll be happy to see him. Got to give him some buckets, get him up out of here. We also heard from David Adelman, who thought Detroit was really physical has the personnel to blow up screens. He said they have 3 to 4 guys who can switch, and there's really no advantage. They just have so many great defenders. That was part of David Adelman's kind of game management on the stretch. He said one of the reasons why I didn't want to use so many timeouts is I was trying to keep their offensive lineup on the floor so they couldn't just get their best defensive groups out of there. He was frustrated with this one, obviously. He said they just made one more play than we did, but I'm going to keep saying this. This group is playing their asses off. I'm pissed that we lost, but I just enjoy watching these guys play. I really do. He said everything had to be perfect in the last 3 minutes for us, and it wasn't. We put ourselves in that position. He did talk about having Jonas, said it was incredible to have him back. 16 and 16, he said, with 7 offensive rebounds in 30 minutes. And then he said he wanted to give Zeke Naji credit as well, who he said hit the glass pretty hard tonight. On Peyton Watson, he said he thought Peyton played good defense on Cade in this game at times. His contests were good. It's difficult with the way Cade is able to separate. Adelman was careful to say he didn't really think they were offensive fouls. It's just something that Cade's adept at, so it's difficult. Thought Peyton contested those shots well, but then he had this to say. He said, this is a paraphrase, I do think that during this period of time when offense is so important, it's a little different. When we get healthy, he can focus so much more on the defensive end. That should make it so much easier. He said a lot of times young players don't realize what it takes to be a top guy until they have to do it, and it's a lot. So there's a lot on Peyton's plate right now. He's hopeful as they get healthy, Peyton can kind of take on more of that real defensive stalwart role that he's held in the past. Again, Adelman really thought the guys played well tonight, wanted to give them credit, but just thought Detroit made one more play down the stretch than they did. I spoke with Cam Johnson briefly in the locker room, just asked him about that injury. He said he has no firm date yet to return. He's right at the 5-week mark. I asked if there was any sort of setback or if it's just taking a little longer than he thought. And he said, neither. We're right at 5 weeks. It was 4 to 6 weeks. I just don't want to do anything too extreme right now. So I am getting working on the court. He's working towards that return, but no firm date for Cam Thomas. And then at the podium, we heard from Jonas Valanciunas, who says, I do need to get into game shape still, but it is great to be back playing basketball. That's what I love to do. Ask about that rebounding. He said, that's my job. All of our job is to finish defense with a rebound. That's the last aspect of defense. We did a pretty good job today. He said a lot of guys were boxing out. The effort was there, at least on rebounding. He continues to be amazed by the way the young guys are leaving it out there and playing the right way. He says it's just been beautiful to watch. I asked him about Detroit's reputation as being a really tough, physical, athletic team. He said they're definitely that. And then I said, do you like playing that way? And he said, not really. I'm more of a finesse guy. I honestly, guys, I can't tell you if he's joking. I honestly have no idea. I wish I could tell you if it was sarcasm. No clue. He was asked about Jamal Murray's free throws, and he said he missed free throws, and he actually looked earnestly confused. And he said, listen, I missed free throws. A lot of guys did. It's on all of us. When we win.
No, this is what Yokes means when he's like, it's a European humor. You guys wouldn't understand it. This is what he means.
100%, yes. The eternal question is trying to figure out when Val's joking. I think most folks around here have just settled into assuming everything he said is worth laughing at. I think I'm in that camp as well. He said, look, though, when we win, we all win. When we lose, we all lose. There were a couple of follow-up questions about the free throws, which were, innocuous enough. But Jonas said, look, we're not talking about that. It happens, and we're moving on. So he was pretty defensive of Jamal. And then he said, look, we know the schedule is tough here coming up, so we got to stick together.
Schedule is tough, man. That's the unfortunate part about this. Moral victories? Absolutely not, because you got another tough game right around the corner. Vogt, good stuff from the arena, brother.
Good to see you, gentlemen.
Our game ball now, shall we? What do the people have to say? How do I not know how the show works?
I don't know. Yeah.
What is next, Kale? Superchats? Is that it?
That's
okay, let's
what
go
we
to
usually do to
Superchats.
close out the show. Yeah. Ryan B. Finally seeing the Pistons. They are just the 22-23 Wolves with no shooters. They're going to go out early if their whole offense is just let Cade cook.
I mean, they're really good and the East really sucks, but so it might not
They're
be
good
early
for the East.
for the East.
Cedric Exquisite really wish Jamal made his free throws. BB was good, though.
Yeah.
Kyle M. Haywind. What's up, Kyle? This is typical shout out for me. Off day show tomorrow. Are we getting an official update?
The graphic is ready.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Official update tomorrow. Ryan B. again. Bruce is the real giveth or taketh player this year.
It's kind of true. He was giveth tonight, though.
Sweet Ash.
5 months of membership.
Shout out. Free throws and field goals. DNVR fans need a win. Maul has had a tough month. Yoke will be back soon. A peanut butter and jelly win will feel so good.
So good.
5 months. I haven't seen that name much, so that's pretty cool that they just been rocking.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
awesome.
it's lingering.
Appreciate you. Ghostly Gengar missing 4 starters, and we almost beat the best team in the East. Wish Jamal made the free throws. Obviously, can't be too mad at this loss.
It's true. Can't be too mad. They did make us proud. We're gonna finish up these over on overtime. If you're watching on our fast channel, go to the internet.
Game shine. No Nuggets fan should shit on Jamal. I can say that because we're in overtime. He's still Jamal NBA. It is unfortunate, but do you want this in January or April? I love Jamal Murray. Can't help but think they were listless that Joker wasn't back. They battled.
Yeah, I think they were listless that they got stuck in a hotel room for 3 nights.
Jana, shout out for thank you for the super chat. Dusty Old Cowtown, the only 2 losses I've ever been to are this game and the Yoke 61 point 2OT versus Minnesota game. Why must it always be so painful?
Why?
This one a little less painful.
Yeah, it wasn't too painful.
5-5-5-5-5-ish. Damn, so close. 340 bench 3-pointers down. Only 215 to 555. Weird step. We are 1-4 this season when Spencer makes 4 or more 3-pointers. Still no CB update. No CB update.
No CB update. I kind of think he'll be back. I'm gonna say maybe All-Star break, but I think
That's still a ways away.
I don't think it's that the no update. I don't think it's because there's a major concern. I think it's more that he came back early. He's hurt, and he'll come back when he's healthy.
Love to hear that. The boy's dead. Gonna be a fun series in May.
Now I love the thought here, but it would be June.
It would be June.
I don't think the Nuggets are going to move to the Eastern Conference. Although if they did, be very nice. Faux.
John, a half-season ticket holder here. Happy the Nuggets have hung in without Jokic, but so tired of going to home games they never win.
Bro, it's so
I'm glad the
true.
road sees the best of the Nugs. It is crazy.
Hold on, what is the Nuggets at home right now? They are 12-9.
Jeez.
They're 19-7 on the road and 12-9.
They have the worst home record out of any team in the top 6. Any team in the top 8, the worst home record in the West.
That's brutal.
I think you got to go down beyond that even. You got to go.
Portland's at 13-11.
Yeah, that is worse. You're right.
Sweet Ash again had to do appreciation post. Just listen to Jamal's presser. He has battled this month and so happy for Brucey B's bounce back game. I mean, it's not like a huge excuse, but Jamal is banged up. He is banged up.
And he looked like he got banged up on the first play of the game.
He did. He actually did. Yeah, he did. Again, not an excuse guy.
I'm telling you, the other thing that's funny about this, Jamal's always wanted to be an All-Star. I think he's going to be it this year. And he's always said, if I get to the All-Star game, I'm going to play hard.
Yeah.
We're going to test that theory this year.
He better play hard.
I think he's going to be
you better play hard.
exhausted.
Jamal, you better save the All-Star game, actually.
Save it, man.
Game shine, this Nuggets team, if owned by fans, would win the next 3 NBA Finals and have none of our picks in the 2030s. I'll take it. But apparently the jump from 6.1 to 6.4 billion is life-changing if your name is Kroenke. Cam John, the man John, Nuggets battled in the 4th, almost beating the number 1 seed in the East. 4 starters down is crazy. Nuggets got depth. All the Nuggets are good, just tired.
I do think this depth, man, we're going to feel, it's going to be amazing for all of us when it's like, man, 9th, 10th guy checking in, Spencer Jones right now.
Spencer Jones is the one where you're going to feel it the most.
It's going to be incredible.
Finally, worst nightmare. No Adam, no Tab, no win, no hell yeah, vote. Good shit.
Good job.
Good.
All right, I wonder who that is. Could be
good
anyone, to be
show.
honest. Hit that outro music there, Kale. It is an off-day show tomorrow, and we're going to enjoy it. Why? Because then after that, another back-to-back.
I mean, what else, man? What else?
What else, man? Back-to-back's what we do. I'm already over this one. Nuggets battled hard. A lot of it things to be encouraged about. Sucks that you lost, but what can you do? Off-day show tomorrow, and then after that, Michael Porter Jr.'s return to Ball Arena. Man, I can't wait for that one. Hit the like button for us on the way out, everybody.
We all silly like the mayor.